So once again, welcome to our Swahili class. To those of us who are present, thank you for joining us at this particular moment. We are in lesson 22 of our Swahili. And yes, let's continue. So today we want to look at animals. Of course, the insects a bit. But just a reminder, the last time we were looking at various parts of especially clothings. We looked at things like chupi, bangili, booty, Suluari, Pasi, Suti, Soksi, and there's a lot of borrowing in terms of English structure or English system of words that were borrowed to Swahili, trying to actually make them Swahili based on the words. So today we're interested in animals, and I'll be using my search chart, but also the book, a guidebook we're using is having the pictures of the animals. So it will be very easy to know what you're talking about. So animals, as is written here, the animals are called, there's an animal or animals. Animal is called, you say then you say nyama. 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 Mnyama, while in plural it will be wanyama. So mnyama, that's the name of an animal. Mnyama or wanyama. So that's the general name of animal. And Swahili also have the word nyama, which is close to the word mnyama as nyama, which means meat. We've come across this one. So any meat, be it any meat, is called mnyama. But sometimes it's called nyama, but any animal is called mnyama. But sometimes when you talk of meat, you can go extra mile to say now which type of meat. Is it goat meat, cow meat, whatever meat you want to talk about, beef, as you say beef or whatever, pork, any type of meat. Now you'll have to be categorically talk about nyama ya nguruwe if it is a pork, but that one will come to learn later, or nyama ya ng'ombe if it's beef. But we have the most important thing at the startup is that the animal is called nyama. When they are in plural, they are called wanyama. Now there are two categories of animal. One is wild animal, which is then called mnyama. You still use the word mnyama, mnyama, but now you say wa pori or porini. Pori or porini means in the forest. So we call them animals that belongs to the forest. That's how we categorically call them. So mnyama wa pori, or animal that belong to forest, which means it's not a domestic animal, it's a wild animal. So that's the name we use for wild animal. Mnyama wa pori or wa porini. But when it's a home animal, if it's a home animal, we'll say, like let me say domestic animal, that's what we use in English, domestic animal. We say mnyama wa nyumbani, and you know nyumbani is home. So mnyama wa nyumbani, which means home animal.
Is that the same term for pets as well?
For?
Pets, cats, dogs.
Yes, anything domesticated within the home are called mnyama or wanyama wa nyumbani, home animals. So then now you have your categories, you can now start calling them. But anything that is domestic animal, whether it's a cow, a cat, or anything else, you just call them mnyama wa porini.
I think the term domestic applies to mostly cows and goats and so on. Pets are another category, I think. It's, as you say, a home animal, not, yeah, a home animal would apply.
Yeah, so basically, there's no that inner classification as well. Because when you talk of pet, they still belong to home or inside the house. Whether you call them the pets or whether you call the cats or any other pet, all of them still belong to home. So we just have a general blanket category that they are at home. Then there are
I get
other Then there are others that are in the forest. So when we separate in that category, those in the forest we call them wild. What white man call wild animal, which is actually mnyama or wanyama wa porini. Those are at home, then we call them just wanyama wa nyumbani. So we use the where they are to categorize them. But then we have also insects, or are not more of animals, and we call insects mdudu. If it's an insect, it's moon, then you say dudu. 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 That's the name we call actually insect. Is mdudu, or you call them wadudu. So wadudu are in plural, mdudu is in singular. That's for insect or insects. Now you might go ahead a bit now to start looking at especially the wild animal. And the wild animal we have especially the baboon. The baboon we call nyani. So the word is nya. Nya is very hard a bit to pronounce, but you try to pronounce it as nya. Nya ni. Nya ni. So it's nyani. Nyani, which is actually the baboon. But with us, it's not actually only the baboon. The nyani is being used for actually monkeys as well. But of course, there's categories of monkeys like we have what we call tumbili, tumbili, and it's basically like you are saying two in English and mbili in Swahili, so almost the same word. But I say tumbili. The word is tumbili. Those are the monkeys, and they are the small monkeys. Now monkeys are also varying in size, even though they are smaller than the baboon, but they are also having different sizes as well. The red, I don't know, they are called red monkeys or which type of monkeys, but they have categories of various monkeys. Within the same monkeys, there's various classifications of monkeys as well. The breeds. But we have another one called sokwe. Sokwe, which appear like a gorilla, the bigger one.
Is the plural now wanyani?
No. When you go to a specific name of nyani, they want to become wanyani. They just remain nyani.
Okay.
It's nyani. They don't have the plural.
Moyanyani na bilinyani.
What?
Moyanyani na bilinyani.
No. It's nyani. Tumbili remains tumbili. Sokwe remains sokwe. Is a gorilla or gorillas, you just call them sokwe or tumbili for monkey or monkeys. And nyani remain nyani for baboon or baboons. They are nyani.
So if you say one baboon in Swahili, what do you say? Say two baboons.
You just say nyani. What you now pluralize is not actually the name. You pluralize the reference. For example, you say huyu nyani, which means this baboon. This in aspect of one, this baboon. Huyu nyani. Now, if there are more than one nyani, you say hawa nyani, which is then these of ESE, baboon. So already you have pluralized the aspect of the reference here, the prefix. Hawa, which is this for singular, and these of a plural of ese. So you don't pluralize the name, the noun here, baboon. The baboon remain baboon. So is this baboon or this baboon? So English will say these baboons. I don't know if in English will use the word these of ese, then still add the word baboons of s here. Because that meaning then means, you know, you pluralize two words here. I don't know if that's what they do grammatically to be correct, but in Swahili, you don't have to actually pluralize the noun baboon. What you pluralize is actually the prefix or the word that comes before the noun, especially the reference here, this or these. But the word remains baboon, nyani, nyani.
Is there any category of animals that is also not pluralized?
Yeah, there are, especially in regards to noun classification. We have around 5 noun classification in Swahili. There are noun classification that are not pluralized. But I think I'll have to get to noun. I will check where the noun classifications are. But I know we'll have a class on noun classification. There are 5 classifications. Like you see, where you have mutoto, which is an M, or mnyama, an M, then the plural goes to wanyama, which is a WA. There's a class category of that noun, which is MWA. In Swahili, those class categories of noun are called ngeli. Noun in Swahili has classes or classifications, which Swahili call ngeli. So we have ngeli ya mawa or mwa, which is as the starting of the word mnyama, and its plural is wa, like wanyama. There's a ngeli of kivi, which is kiti as a start of ki, and the plural is viti. So there are various class categories of noun, which I think maybe we'll have I'll check if it's factored in our program. If it's not factored, I'll have to put it in. But us in Swahili will not pluralize the baboon. We'll only remain with baboon as nyani. We won't say nyani sarwa nyani. English will then call them baboons to show they are more than one. But Swahili will only change from this to these baboon. Is that helpful, Saudi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
So,
you.
just a recap a bit. Welcome, Brother Coco and Sister Valerie. We've done a bit recap by first of all starting to learn about the animals. And the first thing we say,
Sorry,
yes, Glenn?
yeah, Valerie's not online. She did log on, but she's falling asleep. She's been traveling for 2 days, so she's
Oh,
very tired.
but she's joined us.
Let me-
She's now in. She's now in with us.
yeah, she's logged off. I'm logging her off.
Okay. Welcome, Sister Valerie as well. So, what I was doing a recap a bit, we've learned about animals. And we've understand that the word animal in Swahili is called mnyama. Nyama. That's the name animal. If they are plural, you call them wanyama. Wanyama, many animal, which is then animals in English. You say in Swahili wanyama. However, the word nyama also means meat in Swahili. So I don't know if there's a correlation, because if you see the word animal is almost derived from the word meat. Does it mean that either we as Africans viewed animals to be either meat or a source of meat? For example, mnyama, wanyama. You know, a human being is not categorized in Swahili as part of animal. A human being is called binadamu. So basically, you will not find a human being categorized in the line of animals in most of the text. But animals remain mnyama or wanyama, and the word nyama also means meat. Now we've said there are 2 categories of animal. There are wild animal, which Swahili only refer to them based on where they are found. And Swahili will say mnyama or wanyama wa pori or porini. And the word porini is in the deserts, no, in the forests. So animals that stays in the forest, which English then called wild animal, in Swahili are called mnyama or wanyama waporini or pori, animals for the forest. Then animals that belong at home, which English then call domestic animal, Swahili call them mnyama or wanyama wa nyumbani, means animals of home or animals that belongs to home, which then English call domestic animal. Now, after learning those very key important words as a startup of animals, we've also gone extra bit to look at insect. Now, insect in Swahili is mdudu, mdudu, mdudu. When they're insects, you can call them wadudu, mdudu or wadudu. Now, we have gone a bit also to look at starting with some of the wild animal, and you're looking at the class of the monkeys or the baboon. So the baboon in Swahili is called nyani, nyani. The word is N-Y-A, which is pronounced as nya, nya, nye, nye, nyo, nyu. So nyani, which is baboon, or tumbili, tumbili, which is monkey or monkeys. There's a class category of monkeys again within the same breed of monkey. Then there is sokwe, the bigger one, the gorilla, the sokwe, sokwe. Sometimes you might even find most of the text confused between sokwe and the baboon. But in terms of the size and the body, the sokwe, the gorilla, is very bigger than the baboon. Now we've said we don't then pluralize the baboon as our English can call them baboons. Or Swahili just call them baboon or nyani in plural and nyani in singular. So it will say huyu nyani, this baboon, if it's one baboon, or hawa nyani, these baboon, if there are so many baboon. That's what we've learned so far. Any question like that in line with that, so that you can delete the blue part and continue down the chat? I'll take you down the chat a bit as we try to look at other words as well. Okay. Now let's go down the chat a bit. And then now we have the word dubu. The correct word is dubu, dubu, dubu or madubu, which is then a beer. Dubu, dubu for beer or madubu for beers. Ndege, you see, is also a bird that remains the same ndege in plural. So it's called ndege, 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 ndege. It's a bird or birds. But also ndege is also a plane. A plane, any type of plane. Either you call it a rocket plane or you call it helicopter, we call them ndege. Of course, helicopter now found a name in Swahili is called helicopter, which is actually borrowing from helicopter in English. But the plane is called ndege as well. I don't know how they borrow that one, maybe probably on what the bird does to fly. They believe also the plane being the fact that the plane is also flies in the sky up there. Then they share the same name with birds in Swahili. They are called all ndege. So it's ndege for either the bird or ndege for either the plane.
Brother Pigeon.
Yes.
Do you also have dubu in East Africa?
Ndugu.
Dubu. The
Dubu.
bear.
I don't think so. I haven't all of that. I don't think the weather in East Africa favors their existence. Do they exist in Namibia?
No, they don't exist in Namibia, but we also have an indigenous name for it. That's why I'm wondering.
Does it mean they were existing sometimes back before?
Should be. I
Anybody
strongly.
know about that, Myra?
I was actually also wondering the same thing. Why do we have names for animals in our languages that don't exist now on the
Yes.
continent? Because also us, we have a word for the bear, but they don't exist in Uganda.
Yes.
It's
See.
very interesting. If you look, most of the items that do not, or animals that do not exist in Africa, we tend in Swahili to borrow directly from their names and try to make them Swahili a bit. But here there's an original name that do not appear like a borrowed name. And maybe it says some of the words that either these animals existed here before. I'm not sure, but it's very interesting as well as what brother Kam is raising. That is very rare to find bears in Africa, but we have specific name to an extent that even in our local languages, we still had a name for them. I don't know if they exist in southern part of Africa. Brother Coco.
I don't think they exist anywhere on the African continent today.
No bears.
No bears.
Okay.
But
So
before we, the theory is that there are a number of types of bears, those that live in cold area and those that live in tropical area. And I can't challenge that there is no bear. I've not heard of any or any location, but it seems very unusual that there are
Oh,
none.
there's none in Uganda at all. I can confirm that.
Mm,
Yeah. In Namibia,
okay.
also, there's none whatsoever.
Okay.
okay, but let's believe that probably existing then, some times back.
It
Then
could be zoo. Europeans could have brought them in zoo and so on.
maybe something of that sort. But you see the word ndege, if I go to the bird, you say ndege means the same bird or it means the plane. But remember, a brother is called who? Mbagu.
Do you hear me? Hello?
Brother Coco?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
No, we don't have a bear in Southern Africa, and we don't even have a name for it.
But you have a name for it. Do you have a name for it?
No,
Okay.
we don't have a name for it. We don't have
Oh,
a name for it.
very interesting. But you see, we have a name
But
for
with the plane, yeah, the plane, what you're saying there, Ndege, we have a derived name from the bird, which is like an iron bed. But that's not the word which is mostly used. But we have an iron bed. So Nunyana Tipi, which means an iron bed.
With us, it's just a bed for both the plane and the bed.
yeah, I believe so. Just maybe a second, just give me maybe 10 seconds.
Started counting.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. Sorry. So, as I was saying a bit on the ndege, Brother Kam, how do you call the plane in your language? The aeroplane or the whatever plane in your language? Is the name also derived from more of an animal or bird? Brother Kama? Okay, she's not here. Sister Mera?
Yeah, so the name of the aeroplane is derived from what we call a bird. Yes. But
So,
so the aeroplane is like a big bird, and then yeah.
so it seems when Africans, of course, came to be aware of the plane, then they thought it's a very big bird up there or a bird somewhere. So that's why most of the names are almost related to bird as well.
Yeah,
But I
probably.
was, but I was saying there's a word called ndugu. When there's A, if you replace A with U, which is U, so it's ndugu, which means a brother. I hope we remember that. Ndugu is a brother, but ndege is a bird. Now, we have nguruwe. The next word is nguruwe. 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 But here they call it nguruwe mwitu. Now, the word nguruwe is actually the name we call a pig.
Yeah.
Now, mwitu also is the same as the word porini, which means wild or forest. So,
Okay.
a pig that is found in the forest, not a home pig. It's called boa. I have not seen this. I don't know if somebody have also come across this animal in Africa. Maybe they're there.
No, not the orange one.
Not the orange one. Maybe the one was painted orange.
Only the gray one.
Yeah, but
It's the same in
yes,
Uganda. We don't have the orange one. We have the little grayish, brownish one.
yeah, I think I've seen the grayish brownish one. Yeah, but you see the concept they are calling it a name close to a
You
pig.
mean the boar, or did you mean the pig, Brother Pippin?
The
We
boar,
have many wild boars in Southern Africa. Yeah, we have many, but not colorful.
not boars, the people.
It's black or gray.
Oh, not the boars in
Oh,
South Africa, the people. The whites in South
the
Africa.
Africa. No, not the Africa.
Black.
Oh, okay.
No. It's a different one. It's a different spelling. Different spelling and different kind.
I know. The pronunciation might tend to confuse. Okay. Yeah, I think the you call the color brown is, I think, it's more common sometimes in Africa. But they have also tendency a bit. But there's another one called ngiri. Let me go, I'll check the ngiri and then we see how close they are. Because I'm not sure of this boa. But what the Swahili brings the name from here, the Swahili is trying to actually make it similar to a pig. So they see it as a pig. It looks like a pig, even if you can see. But then it's a pig that stays in the forest. That's why they call it nguruwe mwitu. So the nguruwe is the actual name of a pig in Swahili. Pig is called nguruwe. Nguruwe. But then the animal below is called nyati. 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 That's the specific word, nyati. In Nairobi, there are even houses, there are even buildings called Nyati House. Nyati is the buffalo. Nyati. Then we have kipepeo.
But this thing here is not the buffalo.
I don't know if they draw it like buffalo. It's based on the. Does it look like a buffalo, you know?
No,
I missed that.
that thing is
Windhoek.
American.
Yes, who's speaking?
Yeah, I was asking what he calls it in his language.
Okay. So, Brother Kama. Brother, sorry.
Or Windhoek.
Yeah, Sawindo, what do you call buffalo in your language?
Just put an O in front.
Onyati.
Yes.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, Onyati.
Yes.
Sister Myra, what do you call it in your language?
We don't have a word for it because we don't have them. We only have a word for cow.
How they look like cow, ng'ombe.
We don't have a word for buffalo because we don't have them.
Really? Okay.
No, not Uganda.
Even the
Yeah. In Zulu it's the same. In Zulu and Xhosa, I think Swati, the same is Nyati.
yeah.
But in Sesotho and Setswana is Nare. But you can see similarity Nare.
But is that the name for the cow rather than the buffalo?
No, that's a buffalo.
Buffalo. Now,
Nyati.
Nya.
Nyati.
The word
Yeah.
is nya. Nya. Nye. Nyati. Nya.
Yeah. Nyati.
Nyati.
Nyati. But in Sesotho and Setswana and Silozi, it's Nare.
Mare.
Yeah, Nare.
Oh, nare.
Yeah, Nare. Nare.
And is it the nare that the Ghanaians, the Nigerians sing nare kenemo or what? There's a certain gospel song, nare kenemo. I don't know where it comes from, but there's something nare somewhere they use as well. But okay,
Okay.
nare.
Right.
Okay. So the next one is kipepeo. It will be very interesting to try to pronounce this word. Kipepeo. Can you try to do that? Kipepeo.
Kipepeo.
Yes, kipepeo.
Kipepeo.
So kipepeo is a butterfly, but it comes from the word pepea. You see the pepeo, it is the right word from pepeo is first of all from the word pepea. So when you say pepea instead of pepeo, it means fly. Pepea, fly. So kipepeo is that flies. So I think that's how they borrow the word to name butterfly kipepeo. That which flies. So it's kipepeo. But the word pepea means fly. So we call butterfly kipepeo. If it's in plural, it becomes vipepeo. Where there's a key, we always put a V in plural. So it's a kipepeo or vipepeo.
With us, it's also named in the same fashion. It's called Oshitata. Tata means flapping wings.
Oh, flopping wings, tata.
Oshitata, one that flaps wings or something like.
Oh, you see. So
Even
names are being derived
even
from
when
how
it
we see animals, how they look like or what they do.
even if it is not flying, it is opening and closing the wings like this. Have you seen it? Yeah.
Okay. So kipepeo is a butterfly in Swahili. Kipepeo. That's the name of butterfly in Swahili, kipepeo. Then we have paka. Just simple as it is, paka. Paka is a cat. So it's paka. That's it. Paka in plural, paka in singular, but it's paka. Then you have duma. Duma is the cheetah. Duma.
And what does Bogo means? Duma Bogo.
Duma?
Bogo. The
Dogo.
president.
What? Come up again?
But he's a Motswana, not
Duma.
a Kenyan.
Yeah.
Remember?
So,
Yeah. What means brain?
I can't get what you are trying to derive. Are you talking of a person or an individual?
Pardon?
Sawindo, what is your exact question? You are asking of Duma?
You know,
Yeah,
the
like the
president of
president
Botswana.
of
The president of Botswana is Duma Boko.
Oh, Duma, Dobo.
Boko.
Duma Boko. Boko means
B-
brain.
Okay.
Boko means what?
Yeah, and Duma, that
Right.
brain, the brain you have in your head. But Duma, that Duma is
Oh,
not the same Duma as you see. The cheetah is the Duma to sound. Duma to sound.
okay.
Oh, oh, I see. Very interesting as well. But we call cheetah Duma, but we also have Kuku. Kuku. That's very simple. Kuku. I think that's very easy to pronounce. Kuku.
Kuku with us is grandma.
As to us, Kuku is the hen.
Okay.
Now, this is where I have problem. Now you see they're categorizing Sokwe as now the chimpanzee. Wait,
So,
let
sorry,
me
brother
check.
Pigeon.
Yes.
And the cock, hen is cuckoo, and the cock.
Njogo. Let me put the word Njogo.
Oh, okay.
Let me try to get my screen somewhere where it's supposed to go down so that I can see what I can share. Okay. Where am I sharing this book from? Okay, yes, here. So what you are asking about the cock.
Yeah.
We call it Njogo. The word
Okay.
Njo. Why is it having so many spaces? Njogo. 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 That's a cock.
Okay.
But Kuku is also a general name for both.
Okay.
So any hen is Kuku or chicken is Kuku. So Njogo, of course, goes to the extra mile of saying, okay, that's the cock. But they call Kuku Kuku. And then there's something I'll come back to Sokwe once I finish this, because there's something I really needed to confirm, because I know they are doing either mistake in their translation here, but I'll come back to that Sokwe. Let's get first of all to Mende, so that I'll come back to Sokwe. There's what you call Mende, Mark Mende. There's somebody who's called Mark Mende, or is it Mark Mende's principle or whatever Mende's principle? But
Archimedes principle.
yes?
Archimedes principle in physics.
Or Archimedes principle. But you have Mende, for us is cockroach. Very funny name, Mende. When I bought some Mende drugs here to try to spray to some Mende in my house. It's written when they pass by, they tell you die Mende, which means the drug for Mendes or the Mende.
We don't have a name for it. It came in the luggage
What?
of the Germans. We don't have a name for it. It came in the luggage of the Germans.
Wow.
You didn't have the name of Mende?
No. Just a cockroach. Okaka garage.
Do you have a Mende in Namibia?
We have them, but we don't have a name.
That's interesting.
Oh.
And you're saying it's not natural.
Yeah. Old people used to say they came in the luggage of the Germans.
Mm.
Okay, that's very interesting. Very interesting to learn about that.
We do have them in Zanzibar. I've seen them.
Are they there in UK?
Yes, I think I've seen them. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So they are everywhere.
But they're anywhere where it's very damp. So they may be in the UK, but be under damp conditions.
Okay. So does it mean also the temperature favors their existence probably?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
They some are very, they like where it's very, is it very, as you say, very damp but very cold a bit as thing as well.
warm. It's usually warm and damp, I think.
Oh,
They grow fast there, but yeah, warm, dark places. They breed there.
okay. It's a very big business here. I don't know when Glenn. I think when Glenn was here in Kenya, I don't know if you saw the guys in the city. These guys are selling those drugs that kill these so-called Mendes, and in fact, they have sample Mendes. They have some glass shield something. They have put so many of them there, and they're telling you that that drug is what has made some of them die there, and some are still working. So they have a testimonial of the drug that killed the so-called Mendes, but all of them are fake. You still buy the same drugs. You try to apply, they don't work out, and so it's very crazy anyway. But I'm told there's a drug in Kenya that is used to kill them. There's also used in maize to kill the pests. I don't know, the pest or whatever pest in the maize. And the EU is having issues with that. The EU says that they don't want that drug to be applied in maize. Therefore, if you do that, they don't want your products. But actually, Mende is one of the serious problem in Kenya. We have so many of them here, so we call them Mende. When you go to Ng'ombe, this will be very hard for brother Glenn, but I know now you can be able to try to pronounce it, Glenn. Ng'ombe.
Mwembe.
Yeah, it's Ng'ombe. Ng'ombe. It's Ng'ombe.
Mwembe.
Yes, that's better. That's better. Ng'ombe. So Ng'ombe is now the cow. Then we have Mamba. Ng'ombe.
Before you leave that, there are variation of cows, oxen, and so on. I think we discussed this before about the use of certain oxen to where they're still doing carts and things in Zanzibar. Is there a different name for oxen?
No, I don't think so. Because with us, in most of part of Africa, we use the ng'ombe, the cow, or punda, the donkey. So when it comes to issues of, irrespective of what they do, they still remain the cow as ng'ombe. So whether they are used for plowing, used for just meat, or used for anything else, we call them ng'ombe. But you have the punda, which is named close to, let me write the word punda, which is very close to zebra. The zebra, the one we use at home, you know, the donkey, punda. So punda is the donkey. So the donkey is what we mostly use for the ox and the whatever. Or if you don't have the donkey, you can then have farasi. The what do you call it? The horse. So we are very clear on them. So it doesn't more of change based on their role. So ng'ombe remain ng'ombe, but most of the time ng'ombe is used for plowing. For those who are doing the plowing and planting or agriculture, we use ng'ombe. We use also and ng'ombe now we have, of course, we have ndume. The word ndume is now for a male cow. We just call it ndume. The male cow, but the female cow remains just the cow. But you have ndume, which is basically, it's close to the word dume. The duma, we look at in the cheetah. But we have dume, ng'ombe wa ndume, which means ng'ombe wa dume, it means a male cow. Then the female cow we call ng'ombe wa maziwa, which means cow for milk.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how we try to bring the name ng'ombe wa maziwa. That's how so it's a cow for milk. That's basically a female cow. Then ndume is the male cow. So we call it ndume, the male cow. But then we use them basically for meat or for plowing. But for the ox, maybe for example, the cats, the one that pull cats around, in most of Africa you'll find them using the donkey, the punda, for cats. But also we use punda for also carrying actually the loads, whether it's the cement or anything else in the villages or even water. You go to the river to fetch water, you go with the donkey. So mostly we use the donkey for that purpose. Of course, I will just confirm in one of the sittings, the Kenya Veterinary Service confirmed that the meat for donkey is fit for human consumption, and it doesn't have any harm based on their vettings and their verifications. But then, yep.
Who financed that research?
No, of course, most of the departments in the governments are actually, because even the government is funded by loans. So some of the time you realize the research are basically funded by some corporation, some agencies outside the country.
Imagine this, because for us in Uganda, if you're not a cow or a goat or a pig or a chicken or a duck or a turkey, you're taboo to be eaten. Now they want to make us eat the donkeys. Are they mad?
Now you see, when you sorted some of the doctors, they were saying they took the samples of the meat cow, the donkey cow for any testing. They realized that the resource of that the donkey meat, if compared to the cow meat, they didn't have any difference. Which means it didn't have any effect in terms of the output of the quantification or the scientific whatever of the donkeys. But what they said is that whoever sells the donkey in the butchery need to indicate that this meat is for donkey and this is for cow. And because most of the people sell the meat in the butcheries did not want to indicate that this is for donkey and this is for cow, because if they do so, nobody will buy the donkey meat. So then the government again ended up shutting down the slaughterhouses for donkey until those who sell the meat have to accept to label that this is a donkey meat, because you need to make the citizen be aware that whatever meat you're giving them, of course they are verified it's not having any harm in terms of health, but they need to be aware that this is a donkey meat and not a cow meat, so that they make the choice.
But in 20 years time they'll be telling us that also cats are healthy for us. We have to fight. This is why we have anyway. Okay.
Can I come in?
Yes.
We domesticated horses a long time ago. We took them from the Nama people, or people who became Nama, who moved from South Africa to Namibia. So our people ate the horses, they ate the donkeys. And in Southern Africa, they laugh at us. Most of the tribes laugh at us. They say, we even call us those who eat the horse. So I would have to disagree. The horse is tough. It's tougher. The meat is not the same as the cow. Very, very hard. You don't even want to go anywhere close to it. So I don't know. I don't know where they were getting that. The same as the beef. It's not the same as beef. It's harder.
The French
tougher to eat.
The French eat quite a bit of horse meat, and they do mozzarella. You know, the very big, like salami, but it's bigger with a lot more fat in it. They've always had horse meat. In fact, I think it used to sell in Shepherd's Bush Market at one point. So in England. So there we go.
Yeah.
It's a bit of digression, but my objection is the propagandizing, and they try to change our tastes, right? So let's say, right, this goes on. In 5 years' time, the Africans will be eating donkey while the cows are being exported to these invaders. That's my main issue.
Yes,
Okay.
you have a point there.
Well spotted, my sister, because is there a surplus of donkeys that they feel necessary to say that in Kenya?
We don't have a surplus of donkeys, especially across the continent. I think donkeys are very, very few.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, I think we'll be ending this here on Mamba. But basically, what I'd like to say is that, of course, they say that the meat from Botswana is the most expensive meat. I think so. Is it Botswana? The high quality meat and very expensive meat in the international markets. But of course, I've seen also Kenya exporting meat to Arab Emirates, but the meat is coming actually from Uganda. Those cows with big horns in Uganda, they're actually brought to Kenya.
They
They are,
actually come.
yeah, they are brought to Kenya. But you see the condition then that the Arabs are putting for you to export the meat is that it must be halal certified. Halal certified, it means that at the time the slaughtering of that meat is done, it must be slaughtered by an Islam or a Muslim. So that then they believe that if it's slaughtered by a Muslim, then it's actually fit for consumption. So they must do the checks to ensure that that meat was slaughtered by a Muslim before you pack it and take it to Arabs Emirates. If you do your meat from anywhere else, they'll not eat it and they'll not take it. That's what they do. So just the last part of the words we're learning today, and we'll continue with the animals next class because we've taken some time as well, is the word mamba. Now mamba is the crocodile. I don't know how you call it in your language, but in Swahili it's mamba. And there's a person who was also having a farm for mamba, and he was exporting the mamba meat to China and the skin for some things like shoes and the rest. But I live close to the lakes. All my life when I was growing up, we go do fishing. I've seen how sometimes it take people and kill people, and how it pretends and camouflages like a stone in the waters. But yeah, it also sometimes come out when it's angry and attack some of the neighbors within close to my home in the village. But that's what you call it, mamba. But I'm told, I don't know if it actually eat meat. Like the hippos, I was told the hippos don't take meat, so they can kill you, but they will not eat your flesh.
Hippos kill people.
Yeah, they kill. They have killed in my village. Some of my, even there's a young man whom we grew up together with. Last year I was told he was killed in the lake by the hippo.
Hippos are very dangerous, Sister Myra.
Okay.
Very, very dangerous, but they don't eat meat. They are herbivores.
Right.
But we eat hippo.
They are vegetarian.
Yeah.
So why do they kill? Is it defense or?
Yeah,
Why-
defense. When threatened.
Yeah.
Right.
But we eat hippo. In my community, when hippo comes out, or even the crocodile comes out from the lake, and my people find it, they actually eat it. They'll kill it, and people eat the meat. That's what they do in my village.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's it. So we'll continue from where we left. There are quite numbers of some other numbers. Yes.
Before you lose Comrade Pigby, mamba is a snake in some other countries.
Mm.
Yeah, I think so. Because I've heard the name mamba. I think in other countries it means snake.
Yeah, because in our countries, in Botswana, it's called the Kwena, and it's a tribe. It's a ruling tribe in Lesotho, a ruling tribe in Botswana.
The crocodile is called Quina.
Kwena.
And is a ruling tribe.
Yeah, they are the ruling tribes in both countries.
Okay. But there's something called black mamba. Is it the snake one?
The black mamba is a different, is a very dangerous type of snake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's where they were borrowing the word mamba from black mamba and the rest. But mamba in Swahili is the crocodile.
Okay.
Yes. So, yes. We're coming to an end of this, Sawindok.
Yeah. What is halal?
Halal, it means that it's been approved by like something that has been purified or when you kill an animal based on the Islams, in some of their practice, they believe that when they give it, I think they offer it to God or pray for whatever, so that animal, whether it was sinful or whatever it was not, actually they then cleanse it to make it clean again, so that they can eat it. That's what they call halal. But of course, the word halal has also come to Swahili with the word called halali. Now, halali in Swahili, it means legal. So halal is more of legal. So it means it's been cleansed and it's now fit for any, or is not sinful at all. So then they can eat it. That's what they call halal. So in fact, there's even a certificate They call halal certification. You have to have a stamp of halal certification to any meat you export to Arabic states. That means that within the time that the animal was being killed, whoever killed the animal was an Islam and actually cleansed that animal for the purpose of eating. So any Islamic or Muslim cannot come to your house and eat meat in your house if they did not participate in the killing or the slaughtering. That's their principles, and I don't know why.
Let me say, but pigment, it doesn't have to be slaughtered by the Muslims, but it has to be slaughtered the Muslim way. So as long as you know the process, you know how to do those prayers.
Okay.
Process is involved in doing the halal. Is there's a lot of halal here where we live because there are a lot of Muslim people, but you don't have to necessarily be a Muslim to do it.
Okay, but you cannot be a Muslim, but you might know the process of making it halal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. To know that process.
Yeah, but
See,
also the certificates of halal in some of the export, they say it must be halal certified. So I didn't know that explain that even if you're not a Muslim, you can still and then slaughter it as long as you follow their procedures. Okay.
yeah, you see, I asked halal because with us, there are reasons why we eat certain animals and why we don't eat some. It's attached to their spirits. I'll just take one example of the donkey. The donkey is too stubborn and many a times in harm's way. So if you eat it, you might get that spirit, and many a time you will be in harm's way. So it's better you don't eat it. Because even a donkey, when it sees a car, it doesn't move.
It's very stubborn.
So that's why we eat some animals and don't eat some, is because of the spirits that they carry.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes, the guys that must go to war are allowed to eat tigers and lions, and these animals are.
Okay.
The women cannot eat them traditionally.
Yeah, I know even in some parts, there are parts of the chicken in my community that women cannot eat. But I think they also have their conditions for that. So even if you slaughter your own chicken and you're cooking, there's parts of the sections of the chicken that a woman is not allowed to eat. And I think because of those traditional taboos and the rest. But we will get to learn more of this when we go ahead with our animal in the next class. So yes, we are free also to learn all those aspects beyond just the names, but also maybe the traditions and various traditions that come with them, or some history about the animals as well. So that we are not only here to know these are cuckoo, but also maybe the relationship or something around that aspect as well. So with that, then permit me to bring this class to an end, and yeah, let's meet again next Tuesday. Thank you all.